one of the staff at Campus Nottingham, and your host on this week's episode of Unilife. Today, I'm joined by Claire, a third-year student studying physics at the University of Nottingham. Claire grew up in London with her mom, dad, and older brother. Unfortunately, no pets. She's been a part of the Canvas community since the beginning of 2019, and today we're going to be chatting about just that community. I'm so glad that you've joined us. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Claire, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that we get to have this chat. We get to catch up a little bit, and I'm really excited for everyone who's tuning in and listening. I'm glad they're going to get to hear a little bit about your story and, more importantly, your experience at uni.
Yeah.
Let's start by maybe you sharing, I don't know, this is such a weird time, right?
Mm-hmm,
it's so strange, and time just kind of goes slow and goes fast, and it's just how to fill it and all of those things. So what are some things that you have been doing for fun that you've enjoyed during this strange COVID season?
Well, I'm not a very creative person, but trying to get that creativity out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone will remember those little paint by numbers that you did when you were a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Amazon has adult versions. They're awesome. And I've spent hours upon hours watching Disney Plus and doing paint by numbers. It is so therapeutic. And after that, now I'm like, I need to get more on this creativity bandwagon. So I've learned to knit.
Wow.
I have not done anything successful yet, but I know how to do it, and that's the main thing.
Knit one, purl one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's all I know. Such limited knitting knowledge I have. Speaking of knitting, I don't think your jumper is actually knitted, but that was best segue I could think of. But you have a strong jumper game today. I just like to say for everyone, it's like a tricolor, hunter green at the top, white in the middle, black on the bottom, and it's just so nice.
Thanks so much. I wish I knew what it was made out of or how, but who knows? We'll leave that up to the people that make clothes. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's fair. It definitely is jumper season. It has arrived here in Nottingham.
Yeah, and it's definitely a look.
Oh,
cozy jumpers. I've been on the hunt for a cozy cardigan. You know those really long ones?
Yes.
With the big pockets.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Have you been charity shopping on the lookout?
I have been on the lookout, but I have not found one yet.
All right. Well, keep me posted if you find it. Great. So I think it would be good for us to start by start at the very beginning, the very best place to start. And by very beginning, I mean pre-uni, kind of as you're beginning to prepare to go to uni, like what's going on in your world, who's in your world, what people are you interacting with? Tell us a little bit about it.
So I came to uni straight from school. So I was at school, I was in sixth form, had a great bunch of friends. Then, as you do if you've been with the same people for 7 years, sometimes those relationships break down a little bit. So we had a big argument, as a group of girls sometimes do, and kind of didn't have many friends at the end of school. But was heading to uni, was really excited. I was into the partying. I was like, this is going to be epic. I'm going to go make loads of friends. I'm going to spend every night dressing up, spending 2 hours with the girls, putting my makeup on, listening to some Justin Bieber and One Direction. Please don't judge me. And then just going out and having a good time. So that was like me before uni. I was like so ready for this new life. And so uni started, and it was really like scary. I was nervous, but so ready to make friends, and let's go do the uni life.
You were ready for like just start over.
Yeah.
Because your friend group had kind of fallen apart, you said.
Yeah, it did.
So you were ready for a new friend group.
Just a new start.
And to have a good time.
And have a good time. So Freshers Week approaches, and we have all these events lined up. Go out to all of them, get really, really drunk. Don't remember any of it. It was not great. But, wow, so we did that for a little while.
Yeah.
Went out, had a bit of fun, but I wasn't making any friends.
How did that feel?
It was really lonely. I would go on these nights out and have about 5 people on Snapchat new, and I'd be like, I don't know who any of these people are.
Because you couldn't remember meeting them.
I couldn't remember who they were. I just met them in the queue for Ocean or whatever, and then, don't remember who they are. So if you're out there, I'm sorry, I don't remember you.
So uni kind of has this reputation of being like the best time of your life. Do you feel like you had that similar expectation going into uni, or?
Totally had that expectation. My brother went before me, and he just like made a great bunch of lads. He met a bunch of lads that he just went out with all the time. He got really drunk and he had so much fun, and he told me all about it, and he said, great. And I was like, right, that's me. I'm totally going to do the same thing. And it just wasn't.
Joining the group of lads.
Yeah, group of girls instead. Well, I don't know. Met a few probably. I don't remember. So it was all this expectations, and none of it happened, which was really strange. And I just got to like a few weeks in, and I was like, I don't have any friends. What do I do now?
Yeah. How did that make you feel?
Gosh, so lonely. I just really missed my mum. I really missed home. And I just didn't really know what to do with myself, because uni just wasn't what I was expecting it to be, and I just wanted to give up. I wanted to go home, because everything was just really hard. You have to cook for yourself every night. Like, no one warns you about washing up. Washing up is so annoying.
Yeah, it's definitely a change in pace of life, and things that, so many things are done for you, or for some people at least. Growing up, and your parents do certain things and other people do certain things for you. And then when you come to uni, you get all of this independence, which I personally loved when I first went to uni. And also you get a lot of responsibility. And I feel like that's the part that I was kind of blindsided by, which I feel like you're talking about right now in regards to the washing up, etc.
Yeah. Cleaning your clothes.
Yeah. All the things you have to do, like adult things.
Yeah. Oh, and we really wanted to be adults. Going off to uni, I'm living on my own. But when you're there, you realise that you just want to be a kid. You just want to be with your family, where you can just like get a hug,
Yeah, and be like cared for.
Yeah, be looked after, and someone that just knows you, who just knows who you are, what you like, versus every night coming back to your room and it's just me again.
Yeah, I think that's so true, and probably something that a lot of people can relate to, just that feeling of like being known amongst like your family or the people that you're used to being around with, versus coming to uni where it's like, no one here knows me. They don't know what I like. They don't know what I dislike. I don't feel comfortable around them. I definitely can remember having similar experiences of that when I went to uni, and I had a very unique uni experience at the beginning.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I fully embraced the freedom that uni offered, and I definitely felt like I had those helicopter parents growing up that were trying to control me, and my little rebellious nature was like, no more. And so I just lived it up for the at the beginning of uni. And that came to a pretty abrupt stop the third week, because I was at a house party. I was drinking, as you do at the beginning of uni, or at least as I did. And if you haven't noticed, I'm American from my accent. And I was going to uni in America, and in America, you have to be 21 to drink, but I was 18 and I didn't care. But I soon decided that I cared a little more, because cops came to that house party, and I got arrested.
Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah, so that was an abrupt plot twist in my uni days.
Wow.
Yeah, fresher me was not prepared for that.
No.
So yeah, who knows what kind of uni experiences are happening this year, but if you feel like it's a wild one, you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
We've been there, right?
We have.
All right, so you came to uni, you thought it was going to be this incredible experience, you end up feeling lonely and kind of desiring like what you once had in some ways. And so did the whole term kind of continue that way, and like where did that lead you as it kind of wrapped up?
Well, I suppose it came closer to Christmas and I was just craving to go home. I was in a state where I didn't want to be at uni anymore. I just didn't like where I was living. Didn't really have any friends. I had nothing to do other than this course of physics that was just so hard and I did not like.
Mm-hmm.
And just life was not what I expected to be. So I just wanted to go home. I wanted to give up and just throw the towel in for uni and say, not for me.
Yep.
So Christmas came and Christmas was great fun. And spent lots of time with my family, and I'm kind of a person that I don't like to give up on things.
Mm-hmm.
And so over Christmas, I talked myself back into it. I was like, Claire, no, you can't give up. You're not giving it in. You are going to go back and you're going to make the best of this situation. So I did.
I made a good pep talk.
It was a good pep talk. I am a journaler. So I wrote a massive list of things to do when I got back to uni. And to think of it, all it really had was, to summarize, get out of my flat, go and do new stuff, meet new people, and make some friends.
So you had like a renewed vision.
Yeah, and also try a little bit harder in physics, but
it's important.
It is important. So my new vision, let's go back, let's make a better time of this. And so I did. And when I got back, I went to refreshers, went to the freshers fair, and I saw there was hide and sock. UONers out there is a society called Hide and Sock, which is awesome. And you basically go and play childhood games. Like, I think I've played Stuck in the Mud and Sardines, and they're so much fun. And so you can just leave all of the inhibitions at the door and you just go and have a laugh. And so we went, and this is the day I met Christine.
Yeah, it is.
And we had some great fun. We had some giggles. And at the end of that, I also met a girl called Savannah. And she was also American and came up to me and said, oh my gosh, I love your energy. And as a British person, as I say in my most British accent, I have never heard that being said before. But I was like, I'm just going to go with it. And I said, thank you very much, in my most British way. And so after that, we just got chatting and we decided to go out and have a coffee. And I was like, this is perfect. I'm making friends. This is what I wanted to do. So
Woo!
big whoop whoop.
Yep.
So yeah, Savannah and I went out. We met up for a coffee. We were just chatting about our lives. She was American, so I was learning all about America because, yeah, it's a cool place. And as we were chatting, she told me that she was a Christian. And I grew up in a Catholic church, but I kind of didn't really want to stay with all that kind of stuff. Like, I just kind of thought it oppressed me a bit. I don't know, like, you're a teenager and you just decide, nah, not for me. I want to go out on Sundays. I don't want to go to church. But the way she was talking about this Christianity and the way she was brought up with it, like, she just was telling me about this guy that she was great friends with called Jesus. And that she just had a relationship with him and that he loved her more than anything. Like, he had so much love for his people, for Savannah, just as Savannah. He knew her, he loved her. I was like, this is very different to what I've ever heard before. Tell me more. Basically. And so we walked around the city that day, and I just grilled her about what was like growing up as a Christian for her, and what her faith meant, and what church is like now. And it was just like, it was nothing like the Catholic Church I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this whole completely new life that I just never heard of before, and I was just astounded, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something great that you touched on earlier that I just wanted to highlight was in comparison from first term to second term, you talked about how on your to-do list you listed all of these things you wanted to do over Christmas break as you were entering back into second term. And something that stuck out to me was just you decided, like, I want to make a change. Like, I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna go for it. I'm not quitting right now. And so you decided, like, I'm going to do things differently. And I think that's a great encouragement for anyone who's listening, who may at this point in their uni experience be a bit unsatisfied. Just to, like, go try something new. Go expose yourself to a different, I don't know, set of people or a different experience, and, see where that kind of leads you.
Yeah, totally. Just do something. Just get out of your bedroom. Literally, just get out of those four walls, and you will not regret it.
Definitely. So you've met Savannah. You've found out that she's a Christian, and it's piqued your interest because her experience of Christianity and your experience of faith are, like, kind of, clashing a bit, it sounds like, in your mind. And so where do you go from there?
Where do we all go when we have questions? We go to YouTube.
Of course we do.
So that night I sat up all night and was watching YouTube videos. I don't know if any of you have heard of Soul Survivor. It's a really cool festival that goes on in the summer for youth, but my friend told me about it a long time ago, and so I was like,
it's a Christian one, right?
It's a Christian festival.
Yeah, okay.
And so they did some talks. I watched some of their talks on YouTube, and just the way that they talked about it really reflected the ways Savannah was chatting about Jesus and Christianity, and just all about love and relationship and family, rather than what I thought I was taught when I was a kid. And so, yeah, YouTube, great place, but also fact check things if you genuinely want to know proper stuff.
Right. Anyways. So that kind of, your curiosity continued to grow in that time.
Yeah.
And what exactly was Savannah doing in the UK? Because, by the way, your American accent was awesome earlier. I loved that impersonation. I hope she listens to this and gets to hear that moment.
I hope she does.
But yeah, what was she doing here? Why was she at Hide and Sock?
So Savannah was an intern here at Canvas. This is how you found the podcast, on Canvas.
That's right.
This is where we are. And Savannah was doing half year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was working here, and so she then invited me back along to Canvas, where I met you, Christine, again. And I met the other staff and some other people that decided to come. There was a few people from Hide and Sock, and a few familiar faces and some new ones, and Canvas was just a really fun place. We hung out, we played board games, we got to talk a bit about faith, and it was just a really easy place to just be myself, to make some new friends, and for people to just get to know me at the same time.
Yeah. So for people who are listening who are like, I somehow stumbled upon this Canvas thing, but I don't know what it is. What is Canvas?
Canvas is a Christian-run charity for students that just want to create a community, a space for students to come be themselves and just to hang out and get to know them and support you guys through your uni journey, essentially. And they have done a wonderful job supporting you through it. So yeah, that's what Canvas is.
That was a great definition. It's been our pleasure to support you along your uni journey. So you come to Canvas, you've hung out with Savannah. Where do you go from there?
So was making friends at Canvas, was making friends at Hide and Sock, was making friends better friends with Savannah. And Savannah then invited me along to church. Soon as we'd been having these conversations, she was like, well, come along to church. And I was like, okay. Bit scared. Hadn't walked into a church since I was a young teen, but it's okay. And so I went along with all these like preconceptions of what church looks like. I don't know if any of you have walked into a Catholic church with the stained glass windows, the pews and the altar and all that. Well, this was completely not what I was expecting. And so she brought me along to Grace Church, and it was coincidentally baptism week. And there was these people up on stage just telling us about how they'd come to faith. And they were chatting about how they got to know who Jesus was and why they were getting baptized, and all their stories were like the same as what I was going through right then, about how they explored who Jesus is, what being a Christian means, what church family is, and all these things were all the questions that I was having at that time, and they were just being told to me by other people, like exactly how I was feeling. So it was a really nice place to be at that time. And so went to church, heard all of this, and I was like, I want to know more of who this Jesus is that loves me more than anything, that he would sacrifice himself for me just so that I can know him. I was like, this is such a cool dude. So kept going along to church, and I kept just growing in my faith, and everyone around me was just so eager for me to know Jesus and just to know me. And so I just started making more relationships as I went along and learning more about what it is to be a Christian, and my life kind of flipped on its head a bit, which was exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, you were looking for a change, right?
I was looking for a new start again.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what I got.
That's awesome. What was your experience of community as you kind of entered into these new spaces of a society on campus called Hide and Sock, of this Christian-run charity called Canvas, and of this church that you had entered into kind of for the first time? What was your experience of people and interactions and community in those spaces?
Well, first, can I say the interactions were so much better than interacting at clubs, because for one, we were sober. So we actually remembered what was happening and what we were talking about, rather than just like what you hear in clubs. Anyways, so yeah, when I went to these places, people would just come up to me, introduce themselves, like, and just ask how I was doing. I was a fresher, I was new to all this, I was a new face, and they just wanted to know who I was and how life was going, because they'd all been through the same thing and knew that I was scared. I was a new fresher and just wanted to give me a bit of love and tell me I'm welcome. And so many people over the next couple of weeks just remembered me, and I'd turn up back at Canvas and they'd be like, oh, Claire, how's it going? Or I get a text for someone from church being like, Claire, I met you at church that night. You want to hang out, go for coffee? And so many of these people like remembered who I was. I was like, I haven't known this many people in so long. And it just felt so great, because I didn't feel like just this random little person walking through the streets of uni. Like, people were actually like taking notice of who I was and actually wanted to get to know me. And I wasn't alone anymore for like the first time in my uni experience. Like, people took notice and I was part of something more.
Yeah.
And so you were asking what community was like. It was just like, there was just a group of people that just were almost giving me a massive hug, being like, come into us and get to know us, and we want to know you. And so yeah, it's just somewhere I've like become known. I think.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I think what you just shared about is so profound and impactful in your life, and also the way in which it came about seems quite simple. People took notice of you. People reached out to you. People asked you genuinely, how are you doing? And through these ways, they were able to show, that they care, which I think is what we're all looking for, right? A place to be known, to belong, and a group of people to know who care about us. And I think it's so encouraging just listening to you share about having found that, especially after, I think so many of us, I know that I can relate to you in your, that season of real pain and loneliness, and how challenging it is to feel lonely and alone, and just how incredible the transformation is to go from being alone to having a space that is yours amongst a group of people who know you. I think that's amazing.
Yeah it's been so much better.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's been about 2 years, a year and a half since we met at Hide and Talk that first night that you went. And wow, what a journey you have been on ever since. What would you say has changed from the way you look at the world, the way you live your life, who you are as an individual, you today versus you, let's say 2 years ago?
That's such a big question, because we're just always like keep growing. But I think from me, like early uni, before uni, and now, like obviously I've grown up a bit. I still don't like washing up though. I think just my values and the things I find important have changed. Like coming to uni, the purpose of going to uni, I thought go get a degree, get a good job, earn lots of money, so then you can like live comfortably for the rest of your life. But now that I'm here, physics, not for me. Sorry anyone that likes it, but no, not for me. And I don't want this big high fly job. I don't want this loads of money that I can just like go on fancy holidays. What I'm trying to say is the reason I'm here now is not for me. It's like the reason I'm here is I want to make relationships and I want to meet people, and that is the important thing in life, is the people around you and the community, not the things you have, not the money or the job or the degree. Like it's about the community and the people that I'm surrounded by and the people that will support me and I will support as well. Like now that I'm a third year, I just want to welcome all the new students that are coming and be like, it's okay. I know you might miss your mum or your dad or your dog, but you're going to be all right here. We're going to look after you. And yeah, I think as before coming to uni, I would have been like, nah, they'll just go partying, they'll be fine. But like, no, I care about the other people that are going to be part of my community, and I want that community to grow and just more people to feel included and loved.
So good. So good. You mentioned earlier that you studying physics is not for you. And also at the beginning, I said that you're studying physics. So can you speak into that a little bit more? Like, where's your mindset at right now as you are in your third year? You're finishing a degree in physics, correct? What would you say to somebody who's like in a similar season where they're like partway through uni and studying something that they're like, this isn't really for me, or like, I'm not as passionate about this as I thought?
Yeah. I'd say don't stress about it too much. I'm in third year and like physics is not my passion, but like it's something you can get through, but it doesn't have to be the most important thing in your life. Like I do so much else with my time here at uni. Uni is so much more than about the degree. and you will still have fun if you do carry on with this degree that you're not liking so much. It may get better. To be honest, third year, I'm actually studying something I slightly enjoy now because you get a little bit more focused on interesting things. So you may later on actually enjoy it. And if you really don't want to be what you're doing, change your course. It's really not that hard. It just takes a little bit of effort. So yeah, don't worry about it and don't give up, because you may start to like it, and there's more to life than what you got to study in a book.
That's true. I think it's important for people to, just be encouraged to develop a life outside of the course that they're studying. And I think that, creating space to do things you enjoy helps kind of off balance a bit if you are studying something that you're not like super passionate about or that's really difficult. Having kind of more going on in your life means that you aren't depending on this one thing to kind of be everything in your uni experience.
Yeah, especially now that you can't even go into uni. You're doing it all from your bedroom desk.
Yeah.
And that is tiring, I know. But yeah, just make sure that you like find something, just sign up for something, just get out of your house, get out of your flat, and make more of the time you've got, because you don't have to be at your desk studying 24/7. Like, you can get out there and have fun and just do other stuff other than your degree.
Yeah, definitely. I know for me, I studied to be a primary school teacher, and I have taught primary school 0 days in my life. And that has that has come about because I ended up coming here and working at Canvas, and I just have never left to go teach primary school. And also, I think in hindsight, something else I would say to somebody who's in uni is just, you learn so much more about yourself and about the world and about other people through your experiences at uni that have nothing to do with your degree. And so I think if you're able to zoom out and see kind of like the bigger picture of the uni experience, I think you can find, maybe some hope and encouragement in that as you kind of weather the difficult times of either your degree or this crazy COVID season we're in, or, whatever.
Yeah, totally agree.
So now, knowing what you know, being the wise third year that you are,
so wise,
what would you say to either like your fresher self, or like a fresher that's listening, just as, what would you say to them?
I'd say don't give up just yet. You've barely started. There's so much more for you right now. And I know that your life might look like your four walls of your bedroom, but it is so much bigger, and you have so many more experiences ahead of you, and so many people to meet. You're going to meet such good people if you just make the effort to go and find them. So please just don't give up, because you're going to have such a good time if you just make something of it. And that's saying that it's all on you. It's like, you don't have to try too hard. Like, I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but yeah, don't put all this pressure on yourself either to make the friends if it doesn't work out at the beginning. Like, come to Canvas. They literally are so wonderful, and they will get to know you, and if you haven't made any friends, they'll be your first friends, because they're just so wonderful. So yeah, don't worry about it. You're gonna have a great time.
Hold your head up high.
Exactly.
Yeah. And yes, you are more than welcome to come to Canvas. All uni students are welcome here. So I think that's so important to note.
Yeah.
All right, as we come into land, we have 5 questions that we ask each person at the end of the episode. And so, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, great. Finish this phrase. Community is
somewhere where I belong.
So true. Love that. What is your favorite kind of takeaway food?
Indian. I love an Indian.
I love an Indian too. I've grown to love Indian so much since living in America, moving from America, living in the UK. Lols. What are you currently binging, or what have you recently binged?
Through lockdown, I binge watch all of the Marvel movies from Iron Man 1, Disney Plus. It was amazing.
Wow. That was
a big commitment.
Yeah, that's a journey.
It was. We started it when I was still here, when lockdown was just beginning.
Yeah.
And so I was watching with my housemates, but then we had to go home. But I finished it on my own, and I do not regret a single minute of it.
Well done.
It was great.
What is something that you have been grateful for or currently are grateful for in the midst of this COVID season?
I'm so grateful that because of COVID, meant I had to go home, and I spent 6 months with my mum and brother, and spending that quality time with them that I haven't had since school. We haven't lived together for that long before in a very long time, and just remaking those relationships with them was really, really great.
That is really special.
Yeah, it was. Now I miss them.
Shout out to Claire's mom.
Shout out to Mom and Owen. Love you both.
All right. So last one. Would you rather be compelled to high five everyone you pass, or be compelled to give a wedgie to each person wearing a green shirt?
Why green?
I don't know. I got it offline.
High fives. It's more friendly.
Yeah.
I don't want to give people wedgies. And that means you've got to touch people's pants.
Yeah.
Definitely much rather the high fives. Even though with the COVID thing,
lots of awkward situations coming your way.
I'm just going to be look at me stay away from me. I'm no, I have to. No, definitely high fives.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's a good answer.
Why?
I don't know. Random. All right. Well, thanks so much, Claire, for being here. Thank you to each person who has tuned in to listen to this episode of Unilife with Canvas Nottingham. If you want more information and want to get connected to Canvas, go ahead and follow us on social media platforms. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Canvas Nottingham.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.